So Peter Littlefinger Baelish could be the baby daddy to Lysa Arryn's son, Robert Arryn. I think it's highly plausible. We know that Littlefinger and Lysa have had a relationship going back decades. She's been besotted with him since she can remember. She tells Sansa that she lost her virginity to Littlefinger. She actually got pregnant and she begged her father, Lord Hoster Tully, please let me marry this man. Let us be a family. And he says, no, you're not marrying this boy from this lowly house from the Fingers. Lysa is devastated, and it gets even worse when her father makes her drink the moon tea. Littlefinger wasn't good enough for one of the Tully girls. Of course, the elephant in the room is that Littlefinger was not in love with Lysa. He was in love with her sister, Catelyn. It's quite remarkable that Lysa never cottoned on. She was totally oblivious. Not that long after, Robert's rebellion breaks out and the realm is thrown into war, and Lysa is hastily married to Jon Arryn of the Vale. A nice enough guy, but way, way, way older than Lysa. I actually have a brand new video coming tomorrow, a long video, all about the history of House Arryn. Even though now she is a married woman, Lysa did not give up her relationship with Littlefinger. In fact, it's the opposite. She begs Jon Arryn, please give Peter a position. Let him begin his career. And Littlefinger, he does well and he winds up coming to King's Landing. And he and Lysa are both living there. In what world do they not try and continue this relationship in secret? So I think there's just as good, if not a better chance of Littlefinger being the father to Robert Arryn, because I think that Lysa was sleeping with him more than she was her husband. And Jon Arryn had been married twice before. He'd had children, but none had survived. So there was a question mark. Maybe the seed is strong had a double meaning. Maybe it didn't just pertain to Cersei Lannister and her golden-haired brood. Maybe this was Jon Arryn at the end in his final moments being like, Lysa, I know. There is one little snag though. Littlefinger is hedging his bets. Yes, he's using Robert Arryn as a pawn, but he's also using this other man, Sir Harold Harding, a knight from the Vale, who has his own claim to the Eyrie because his grandmother was an Arryn. She was Jon Arryn's sister. So even if Littlefinger is the father of Robert Arryn, he's ready to throw the towel in if needs be. I can see an argument for him being Robert's father, but also for him not being the father. With Littlefinger, you just never know what's true. I think he definitely carried on a relationship with Lysa. I mean, we saw when he and Sansa escaped to the Vale, Lysa was all over him. She thinks, oh great, now is the time. Now I'm going to get my happily ever after. I think Lysa was sleeping with Littlefinger the entire time. I think she only had eyes for him. If he is the father of Robert and Robert is sickly and dies young, Sir Harold Harding, he's the contingency plan. I don't know whether his illnesses are just that or whether somebody is doing something to him to get him out of the way, to clear a path for someone else. Because Littlefinger plans to marry Sir Harold to Sansa Stark. He says that is the key to taking the Vale. It feels like he's checked out of Robert Arryn. That would be very on brand for Littlefinger. If you are of no use to him, we can get rid of you. This is a man with a major chip on his shoulder. He comes from a tiny house. People look down their nose on him. They think the Baelishes are upstarts. He wasn't good enough to marry one of the Tully girls. I think he's pissed and he wants to watch the world burn. He wants to watch people tear clumps out of each other while he scoops up the spoils. And even if Robert Arryn is his biological son, he'd throw him under the bus in a heartbeat. It's all about winning, coming out on top in the Game of Thrones.